A freeze warning is now taking effect overnight as our temperatures tank. Less than a week ago here in central Indiana, it was 80 degrees. Now wind chills in the teens. And I'm sure we all would like to be rid of all this cold, but it certainly does set the tone for our top story tonight at 11. Thanks for joining us. I'm Anne-Marie Tiernan in for Scott. So real quickly, let's flash back to January. That's when we had snow on the ground, a lot of it. And in many areas of Indianapolis, it stayed there. And stayed there and stayed there. That's all because the city's snow removal policy didn't include more than 1,000 miles of our residential roads. But now a vote by the City County Council is prompting a change that should mean that we'll see more plows on our streets when that nasty winter weather comes back. Logan Gay is back from tonight's meeting and breaks down the changes for us. Logan.
After months of hard work, Marion County now has a new snow removal policy, but some councilors say what happened here inside the boardroom is about more than snowplows.
Motion carries 25-0.
A unanimous vote of approval cemented Proposal 69 into an official part of the city's snow removal ordinance, something councilors say is a long time coming.
This is a big win for the city and its citizens.
It was something that we needed to address, but we made sure to do it the right way.
Many neighbors were forced to shovel their way out of their neighborhoods and drive on icy snow-covered streets for days. Residents later learned that more than 1,000 miles of residential roads were not included in the city's snow clearing policy.
We heard situations where folks couldn't get to doctor appointments, they couldn't get to work.
The updated snow removal ordinance will prioritize plowing streets near schools and township buildings at 2 inches of snowfall. Residential streets will be plowed when snow reaches 4 inches. Councilors Kristen Jones and Derek Cahill say they worked vigorously on this ordinance and hope Hoosiers feel like their voices were heard.
We heard constituent concerns across the board. We took it, we listened.
We did act on it, we did advocate for them, and we did it together as a team.
And this is why they hope constituents get more from this experience than snowplows.
I describe it as historic bipartisan legislation tonight that everyone contributed to.
Snow is not a divisive issue, and it affects all our council districts equally. I think good ideas are not Republican or Democrat, they're just good ideas.
Next, the Public Works Committee will present their funding plan for the upcoming snow fight for the upcoming year in October. In Indianapolis, Logan Gay, 13 News.
Also tonight, the council signed off on a plan to revitalize the old City Hall downtown. They passed an ordinance that approves the lease of the building and up to $66 million in bonds. Under this proposal, the developer, TWG, will be responsible for repaying those bonds within 10 years. And there are big plans for that building on Alabama Street, including a new 21C museum hotel. It will have a large art gallery and a rooftop bar and more than 150 rooms. Construction is expected to start in July. A grand opening is planned for 2028. Now, hopefully we don't get any blizzard-like conditions for a while, but unfortunately for us, it does feel more like January outside than it does early April. So, Angela, so frustrating. It seems like we just can't catch a break weather-wise here.
Yes, we had tornadoes. We've had flooding. Now we're dealing with, as you said, wind chills in the teens. Temperatures right now in the 30s. We're expecting 20s overnight with those wind chills in the teens early tomorrow morning. We're already down to 32 in Indianapolis, 31 in Lafayette and Greencastle, and currently 34 degrees in Bloomington. Overnight low temperatures, mid-20s. We are under a freeze warning for a good part of central Indiana. Still have some time to protect those flowers, cover them up or bring them inside. Down to 24 in Kokomo tonight, 22 Richmond, and 25 degrees in Indianapolis. So very cold start to our Tuesday. Morning temperatures in the 20s. Grab that heavy coat. We do have some sunshine on the way for tomorrow afternoon and mid-40s. And we will catch a break later in the 7-day. I'll have that in a few minutes.
Okay, we just got to hang in there. Thanks, Angela. Well, almost a week after tornadoes tore down homes, Carmel City leaders tonight held an emergency meeting, focusing not only just on the cleanup, but also long-term recovery. Alex Almanza joins me in studio. And Alex, you were there. What's next, and how does the city plan to better prepare for future storms that may hit Carmel?
Well, Anne-Marie, Carmel City leaders are praising the community's response, but tonight's emergency meeting was really all about discussing what's next for the future the next time a storm rolls around. 5 days after tornadoes swept through Carmel, the cleanup continues. But city leaders say recovery is about more than cleaning debris. It's about being ready for what comes next.
But our citizens are resilient. Everyone we talked to today, was putting themselves, in harm's way in some opportunities, helping their neighbors.
At an emergency council meeting Monday, leaders passed a resolution to waive city fees for storm-damaged properties and laid out the foundation for a long-term response strategy. It's called CHAMP, the Carmel Helping and Mitigating Program.
When a mayor makes an emergency declaration for a geographic area, city of Carmel, it allows the city to conduct business in a way that they otherwise legally can't.
According to city officials, 54 homes were impacted, 5 with major damage. 13 businesses were affected, with 2 still unable to operate. Council Vice President Snyder says Carmel is now developing a comprehensive emergency plan, something the city has never had in its 50-year history.
I think the council is on board with setting a real structure so that we're not guessing when the next event comes through.
Leaders also warned that the long-term recovery may be challenging, especially for small businesses struggling to navigate insurance claims.
There will be things that are not yet evident that some of these businesses will need down the future. So I think we can do this outreach that we're doing now to understand what their needs are now.
As the city rebuilds, officials say this moment isn't about reacting, it's about setting a new standard. Because for a community that's weathered a storm, being prepared makes all the difference. And the city's emergency declaration is still in effect through Thursday. Council members say they'll continue gathering feedback from residents and businesses as they shape out that long-term plan. But for now, a tentative meeting is set for next Monday. Anne Marie?
Alex, thank you. Days of significant rainfall have created problems all across the state of Indiana. Rivers flooded, homes threatened, roads covered. High hopes tonight that the high waters soon recede. Now, Columbus hit hard by those floodwaters and sparking dangers for drivers. Roads there looking more like lakes. The water even shut down State Road 46. And as you know, that's the main east-west stretch through that city. So without that, it makes it really hard to get around, and it's very risky to try. However, that risk didn't stop some people from trying to get where they wanted to go the normal way. The sheriff says as a result of that, they've conducted at least 15 water rescues. Law enforcement handing out dozens of tickets as well to people who are ignoring the road closed signs.
Don't take a chance. If the road's closed, don't drive through it. It's not worth it. It's not worth losing your vehicle, and most definitely it's not worth losing your life for.
They are monitoring the water, and the sheriff says they do hope that State Road 46 can reopen in time for the Tuesday morning commute. We'll keep an eye on it. Right now, over on WTHR Plus, we're streaming, and we take a look at Hoosiers who are recovering from the storms, the tornadoes, the flooding last week. You can watch it on demand. To get WTHR Plus, you can download that app on your TV and stream that special. It is free of charge. Tonight in health news, the Indiana Department of Health is reporting the first lab-confirmed case of measles in the state of Indiana this year. This case involves an unvaccinated child in Allen County up near Fort Wayne. So now state and local health officials are working to determine if potentially there are other cases. We're told that this patient is stable and is recovering. Now, according to the State Department of Health, because measles is so easily spread and so contagious, a single case is considered an outbreak. Here's a quick look at the other stories making headlines right now. A Muncie woman just took a plea agreement in a crash that killed a man and an unborn baby. Police were trying to arrest Olivia LaRue for dealing cocaine in January of 2024 when she drove off in an SUV. She then ran a red light and hit another car, killing the passenger. His sister was driving, and she suffered serious injuries and lost her unborn baby. LaRue's sentencing is now set for May. Right now, she's already in prison for dealing cocaine in Madison County. Tonight, police are announcing another arrest in the 2012 murder of a retired Sullivan County farmer. State police say the 85-year-old Lowell Badger was shot and killed in his home. Over the years, police urged the public to be on the lookout for items that were taken from Badger's home. And now, a 35-year-old man is the latest to face charges in connection to the crime. Now, Indianapolis-based Eli Lilly is suing an Indianapolis-based weight loss company, claiming that clinic is misleading its patients. In the lawsuit, Lilly accuses Premier Weight Loss of selling altered versions of the company's drugs Zepbound and Mounjaro. A statement from Lilly urges regulators and law enforcement to take action. Republic Airways is now merging with Mesa Air Group to create a regional airline. This is an all-stock deal establishing Republic Airways Holdings, Inc. The company plans to keep all flight crews, technicians, and other operational staff. Right now, there are more than 30,000 firefighters here in Indianapolis for the Fire Department Instructors Conference. This convention allows firefighters to see new tools and new techniques. Plus, there are training classes, workshops, and seminars. This conference runs through Saturday. It's downtown at the Convention Center and also over at Lucas Oil Stadium. Remember, you can find all the latest local stories anytime on our 13 News app.